Hello and welcome to this tutorial about FTP accounts. What is an FTP account? First of all, what is FTP? File Transfer Protocol. This account is basically used for transferring files without interruption. So suppose you want to upload a plugin in the backend directly in the cPanel, or you want to upload any file for installation, a zip file, you would probably want to use an FTP. It is also used for creating backup. If you need to create a backup of your site and you want to copy the contents of the entire directory, you would want to use an FTP account for that. And what is the primary use of an FTP account is, suppose you want to give access to the backend of your website, that is the cPanel of your website. For some reason, to maybe a website developer or a website designer, you should always give access to that specific directory and not to the entire file manager. How do you do that is by creating an FTP account which is restricted to that specific directory to which you want to give access to. So we'll see that how to do it. So under the files section, you will see there is an option for FTP accounts. Click on that. Here it asks you for the details. Now, if you have multiple domains, you will have to select the domain for which you want to create an FTP account. This is very similar to creating an email account. So you have to enter a login name, a username. So after entering the login name and the domain at which you want the login name and setting the password, then you have to set up the directory to which you want to give access to through this FTP account. Now let's suppose I want to give access to a subdomain on my site, and through this FTP account, so only that specific subdomain should be available and not the primary domain. So specify that in the directory section and then click on Create FTP. The account has been created. Now what you need is to access this FTP account or to access the subdomain through the FTP, you will have to use a FTP file manager, for example FileZilla. So here I have, and now I will have to enter in the host. It is the IP address of the web server, the IP address of the web server, username, that is the username of the FTP account that you just created, and then the password. Quick connect, and here it is. You have the access to the directory that belongs to the subdomain that we wanted. So you have all the details here. Now, on the right side that you see is the remote site. That is what you're accessing from the web server. On the left side window is what you have on the local system. So suppose here is where I want to be, on the local system. Select that folder on the local system, that is on your system itself. And then if you want to create a backup of a specific folder, for example from the web server, just click and drag and the folder will be created, and all the files within the admin folder, for example here, will be saved onto your system. As you can see, there are successful transfers and how many files have been queued and how many successful transfers have been done out of the queued files. So this will continue till the time the entire content of the admin folder has been saved on your system locally. So this is another way of creating a backup from the web server. So I will stop it for now. So this is how you basically create an FTP account for a restricted folder, and if you want, you can create an FTP account for the entire file manager as well. That is about this video. If you found this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.